This lesson will cover how to delete, copy, move, rename, and compress files. Eventually, you'll get tired of all the files you have laying around and want to delete some of them. To do that, use the rm command. Rm space file name is the simplest form of this command. If you want to remove a directory and its contents recursively, use rm space -r and the name of the directory. If you want to force removal, use rm-f. Search patterns can be used to delete multiple files at once. It's a good idea to double check what you're going to delete with the ls command before you actually run an rm command against it. In this example, you can see that rm.star will not move dot and dot dot, which represent this directory and the parent directory. To copy files, use the cp command. If you want to create a copy of a file, you just run cp source file destination file. You can also copy a file or a series of files to a directory by using cp and then listing the file or files and ending the line with the directory name. To run cp in interactive mode, use cp space -i. If the destination file exists, cp will prompt you before it overwrites the file. If you use cp space -r, source directory, and destination, cp will recursively copy source directory into the destination directory. If the destination directory doesn't exist, it will create the destination directory with the contents of the source directory. Let's copy a file with the cp command. We'll copy file 1 to file 2. And you can see that there are no differences between the files. Let's create a directory. Let's copy these files into that directory. So we can list as many files as we want, and when we end the command with a directory, it will copy all those files that we listed into the directory. You can see that the files are in the directory. If you use cp with a -i, it's interactive mode, and it will prompt you if the file exists, the destination file exists. Do we want to overwrite file 2? Let's do a recursive copy on dir to dir2. dir2 doesn't exist, so cp creates dir2 and places the contents of dir into dir2. If we try to copy dir into dir3, dir3 does not exist. We'll see what happens. And we see that copy skips directories. Copy will only work on directories if you give it a -r for recursive. So let's create dir3. Let's recursively copy dir and dir2 into dir3. And you can see that the two directories are in dir3. To move or rename files, use the mv command. If you were to run move space source space destination, move will move the source into the destination. Otherwise, source will be renamed destination. Like cp, mv has an interactive mode. So if you were to run mv-i source destination and destination existed, mv will ask you if you want to overwrite the destination. Let's use the move command to rename a directory. You can see that dir has been renamed to first dir. Let's do the same thing with a file. Rename file 1 to file1.renamed. And let's look at how move will handle moving a file into a directory. File1.renamed into first dir. And you can see that the file is now in first dir. This is the contents of file 1. This is the contents of file 2. If we run move file 1, file 2, that will rename file 1 to file 2. It will overwrite file 2. You can see file 1 is gone because it's been renamed and overwrote file 2. If you want to do this in interactive mode, use -i. And in this case, it says, hey, there's a file that already exists. Do you want to overwrite it or not? You've already used the sort command a couple of times in this course, but as a reminder, the sort command at its most basic level sorts text alphabetically that appears in a file. You can use sort with a -k option and supply a field, so you can sort by a different field than the first field. -r sorts in reverse order, and -u removes duplicate lines and only provides unique results. Let's look at the contents of more secrets. If we sort this file, it will sort on the first column. You can see that P comes before S, which comes before T, etc. You'll also notice that there are two duplicate lines. So to remove those, we can run sort with a -u for unique. And we see that we only get one tags line. If we want to reverse the order, -r. And if we want to sort by the second column, we can use -k2 for the second field. And we could even combine options, use the -u for unique. Now you can see the second field, A, comes before B, before C, and before F. If you want to bundle a group of files or directories together in an archive, use the tar command. You may want to create a copy or backup of a group of files. You may also have several files that you want to transfer at once or transfer as a set. In these situations, tar can help. You'll notice that tar does not require a hyphen to precede its arguments. The hyphen or the dash is in brackets. Traditionally, the hyphen is excluded, but tar still works with it. So if you see tar space cf file.tar, it's the same as tar space -cf file.tar. Some of the most commonly used tar options include C, to create a tar archive, X, to extract files from the archive, T, to display a table of contents, V, to be verbose, Z, to use compression, and F, to specify the file that you'll be working with. Let's create a tar archive of TPS reports directory. So tar, C for create, F for the file we want to use. We'll use tps.tar, and we'll supply the directory that we're going to archive. You can use T for list, and it shows the directory and two files. So let's move into the temp directory and extract the archive. Extract F for the file. We'll give it the file name. And you can see that it extracted the contents into TPS reports. If you want to get a verbose listing of what tar is doing, you can use a V option. So we could have ran tar xvf home json tps.tar, and it will list the files that it's extracting. To compress files and save space, you can use the gzip command. To uncompress the file, you use gunzip. And if you want to view the contents of a zip archive, you can use gzcat or zcat. You can use the du command to display how much disk space is used by a file. So du-k displays sizes in kilobytes, du-h displays sizes in a human readable format. So if the file is 5 megabytes, it will say 5M, or 3.7 gigabytes, 3.7 G. Let's use the du command to see how much space that this data file is using. It's using 80K. You can compress it with gzip. When you compress a file with gzip, it compresses it and adds the .gz extension to the file name. Let's see if that saved us any space. And it did. 4K, 80 uncompressed, 76K compressed. We can uncompress it with gunzip. we can see it's back to its original state. If you want to create a tar archive that is compressed, you can use the Z option for compression. We'll do C for create. F, we'll name the file tps.tgz. This is a naming convention. You don't have to name files this way. Sometimes you'll see it tps.tar.gz, but tgz is short for a tar that's been compressed with gzip. We'll compress the TPS reports directory. And if you want to work on a compressed file, you need to use Z. And it lists the files that are in that archive. In this lesson, we covered the rm command to delete files, cp command to copy files, the mv command to move and rename files and directories, gzip to compress, and tar to create archives.